Just want everybody to feel welcome. Also, before we get started, I want to pass the mic to Matt. Matt, would you like to say a few words from the chamber?
Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Is the speakers on the in the room good enough for those that are in the room? Johnny, am I turned up?
Everybody hear them okay?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I wish I could be there in person with you guys. I'm on a vacation. I haven't gone to vacation in a very long time, but we are so excited that this group is finally able to make this work. And again, thank you so much to Tara and Johnny for all their help setting this up. And thank you to Kelly, our office staff here. And I wanted to first welcome everyone for coming. Again, as a chamber, we're very excited to have this council be housed with the chamber, and this has been a long time coming and we've been brainstorming for a while on this, and we're very happy to have this first meeting here with you all today. And Johnny's always does an excellent job facilitating, and we're just again happy to have everyone here. I guess some housekeeping stuff on our role in this. Again, we're just the body that represents the largest amount of businesses in the community. But the idea behind this is that you do not have to be a chamber member to be part of the Black Business Council. This is about just helping minority businesses. This is not about in any way making this about the chamber. We're just, again, we have the largest database facility in the community, and we have an obligation to help as many businesses as we can get through the pandemic and just be successful in their businesses. So right now it's about just, again, doing all we can to help the community, and very happy to have this council happening, and very happy to have our speaker kick us off here with the great first presentation as well.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. And thank you again to the Chamber of Commerce for kind of hosting. Ms. Dyer, would you like to say a few words about the Black Business Council?
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for facilitating. Thank you, Matt and the Chamber. We have actually today actualized a dream that Johnny and Anthony Marks Jr. and Tracy Mallory and I got together a little over a year ago at my house. And we wanted to do something in the community that focused on Black businesses. We wanted to try to find resources. We wanted to identify them, to create this database. And most importantly, we wanted to provide a forum for these Black businesses to get together. In came the chamber, Matt, and with his resources, and allowed us to then come in and meet at the chamber. But you know, COVID, so we've been doing a lot of Zoom, and we've been fortunate enough again to have Johnny facilitate, not only facilitate, but he is also our historian. So throughout this whole meeting here, he'll also be, thank you, be taking notes, and we will identify things that we want to do to help the Black businesses in the community. But most important, we want to provide a dialogue. So our next meeting is going to be on Veterans Day, November 11th, and it may possibly be on Zoom. We have found that if we provide that type of forum, we don't have to worry about whether or not our COVID numbers are crazy. So, and Johnny is in charge of that facilitation. We are passing around a sign-in sheet. So please, we have the people on Zoom, so we have your information, but the people who are present here today, thank you. And make sure that you complete the sign so that we can add you to our database. We also have a form, so if you, Davion, have not completed that form as of yet, so that we can include you in the database, we'll have Kelly get that form to you. So I see that there are some new faces here, but hopefully this event tonight will kick off to something wonderful that's going to happen in our community.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dyer.
Johnny, before we get off of that, and Tara did a great job, better than I did on it, but with the database, that was a great point. If you are not familiar with it, so the idea behind the database is just so that we can provide information about when these meetings occur, but also any information that the chamber comes across or any other organization specifically for minority businesses and minority organizations to utilize grant opportunities, financial assistance, any kind of programming that we come across. We'll be utilizing that database and that contact database to share that information out. So that's the whole reason that information sheet is going around and being built out. And again, the idea is there's no chamber membership involved here. It is literally just a database of chamber members and non-chamber members to be able to connect with each other through these meetings, but also to share resources with each other. And then that database, however, will live on the chamber's website as a separate link that, again, regardless of whether or not you're a member or not, that list will be up on our website. And then we also created a new category listing on our database so that the public and others can search for minority-owned businesses and African-American owned businesses specifically as a category search to help those folks be found in case someone specifically wants to purchase things from that category. So those things are all now in place on our website, and very excited to have that database in place. So if you're not part of this database yet, please feel free to fill out that informational sheet or reach out to the chamber if you're watching this recording, and we can get you set up with that.
Sure. Before I introduce our speaker, to the 7 people that are in this room, welcome again, welcome. There's water and food over there. Please help yourself. To the 2 people who are in the Zoom room, please feel free to put your questions in the chat box. I'll try to get to those. But then also after our speaker is done, please feel free to unmute and ask questions and that type of thing. We'll try to do both in person and also virtual, and try to monitor that. So without further ado, I want to introduce our speaker for the evening. Our speaker's name is Jesse J. Mark III. Jesse Mark is a champion for people, bringing more than 20 years of experience in the financial and banking industry. With his expertise in retirement planning, insurance protection, business finance, and commercial and mortgage lending, he has become a trusted advisor to many businesses, individuals, and families. Working across nonprofit, government, and corporate sectors, Jesse has developed dynamic programs that have provided access to capital and educational experiences tailored to meet the needs of Ohio small businesses, and hopefully some Marion small businesses too. He is a graduate of Ohio Northern University, James Dick College of Business Administration, concentrating in finance and sports management, and earned his MBA from the University of Phoenix. Jesse has served on boards of the Columbus Business Alliance and the Central Ohio African American Chamber of Commerce, and holds professional affiliations with numerous Central Ohio chambers and Rotary groups. Most recently, Jesse joined the Columbus Urban League as the director of Columbus Regional Minority Business Assistant Center, serving 18 counties in Central and Southeast Ohio. He and his wife, Amanda, live in Westerville, Ohio, with their 3 sons, and he enjoys spending time with his family, traveling, and coaching youth sports. So can we give a round of applause virtually and in person to our speaker, Jesse J. Mark III.
Thank you so much, everyone. Again, Matt and Johnny, it's an honor to be here on this day. I saw somebody say this is a historic moment, all caps, historic moment. And I'll tell you this first, I've worked with people, I know people from Marion, and, it's good to support Black businesses, because if you support all, you support us, right? So I always like to do this, just starting off. So, you heard in my bio that I'm a father, father of 3 boys. So I'm full of dad jokes. So I've been trying to craft this one up all day, and I'm gonna drop it for you. So here it goes. How can you tell the sex or gender of an ant? No clues? Okay. Well, first you got to drop it in water. If it sinks, it's a girl ant. If it floats, it's boy ant. Bad. I know. I'm sorry. buoyant. If you have to explain the joke, you know it's bad, but so, I'll start with that one. Again, it's an honor to be here today.
Well, good night, everybody.
Do not quit your day job, Jesse, right? I'm glad I have more skills than telling bad jokes, right? But I'll tell you again, such an honor. First of all, I'll tell you this. I'm a resource to resources. I've done just about everything in finance, and I'm looking forward to doing more in economic empowerment. That's where my career has steered me. I've done just about everything in finance except for day trading and commodities, right? But retail banking, business banking, mortgage banking, you heard in my bio, it's always been engaged and involved with making sure that Black and brown people, disadvantaged businesses, individuals and families have an opportunity and a seat at the table, whether that be for their families or their businesses, And so, I have a presentation here today. I think we're slated for quite some time. I don't know how long you guys want to keep me here. I'll tell you, I'm missing 2 of my 3 kids' games tonight to be here. So it's a historic moment for me to be present here for you, because as you heard in my bio, one of my greatest passions, of course, is my family. And I can't forget God first. So, with that being said, if I'm able to share screen and we can make this interactive, or you can hold questions until the end, I will, appreciate if I can have a list of the people that are present today. I know that we're recording this conversation, but I would encourage every single one of you, business owners, entrepreneurs, budding business owners, whether you're in the ideation stage, startup phase, stay-up phase, or scale-up phase, which many of us during this pandemic are in the stay-up phase. And there are resources and opportunities out here for you that I'll share with you today. And, I may ad-lib and go off skit for some of the slides, but allow me to get through the presentation a little bit. And if you could raise your hand, I know we've got the group there together, and maybe we can find a way to proctor or facilitate some of those questions. And here we go. So if I'm able to share my screen, then I will be ready to dive in. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, again, the Minority Business Assistance Centers are, 7 centers in Ohio. We have one in Cincinnati, one in Toledo, one in Dayton, one in Akron, one in Cleveland. It's 5. Hold on. Cleveland, Akron, Dayton, Toledo, Columbus, and Youngstown. So 6. I'm responsible and have the honor of having the largest MBAC center in the state, where, again, I have 18 counties I'm responsible for, going all the way up north to Marion County and Morrow County. And it kind of sweeps down like a storm front, I guess you could say, through Columbus, through Franklin, Delaware County, all the way down to Washington County and Athens County down on the river. So, pretty big territory, and I'm really, really excited, to be a part of this presentation opportunity today, because from my understanding, we have not had a lot of opportunity to reach outside of the Franklin County MSA, Metropolitan Service area. And so I'm excited to be able to introduce myself to you and let you know that this is not going to be the last time that we talk, right? So again, whether it's help with business planning, the technical assistance, I may be talking about some slides, but I get kind of giddy about these things because my passion is making sure that I can help empower people, right? So, here we go, okay? So empowering small businesses, minority communities across Central Ohio, across the entire state of Ohio. The Minority Business Assistance Center, where I'm at, or where all of our centers are at, we're all hosted by different agencies. If you see in my screensaver or my back screen, we're hosted by the Columbus Urban League. The Columbus Urban League has been around for over 100 years. We have tons of different programs. If I could do a whole presentation on the different programming that we have, we've been helping people out with their rent payments, with getting ready for mortgages, helping out the youth, helping out, restored citizens, you name it. We have the programs to make sure that people have the ability and the trajectory to wealth creation and sustainment and legacy building. So again, our mission is to provide education, exposure, resources, counseling for minority and disadvantaged business owners so they can thrive, grow in Central and Southeastern Ohio, right? Again, we want to make sure that everybody's successful. Okay, so here are my staff members. Again, I'm the director of the region. We have Ms. Sharon Francis, who is a wealth of knowledge, over 40 years of being an entrepreneur and helping entrepreneurs. Ms. Kathy Armstrong, who is retired from the state as a certification specialist, and now she is our certification specialist. She helps people with the EDGE certification, the MBE, which is Minority Business Enterprise, WBE, Women, VBE, Veterans, and we even can assist folks that are in the transportation industry with their DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprises, through the Department of Transportation with the state. And we just brought on board Katina Hall, who has a host of information and knowledge that is our program administrator. And so I have a Rockstar team, and I like to refer to my team as Jesse's Angels, because they all provide tons of value. And really, it's a wraparound 360 service for what we do and can provide and help folks out. So there's my bio. I'll skip that. Move this around. I'm sorry. Again, one-on-one counseling and training classes, similar to what we're doing today. Identifying access to capital, which is a huge, huge, huge barrier for many Black and Brown people to break and get into. I'll tell you a story about that one real quick. I had a gentleman that I talked to that opened up a restaurant here in Central Ohio. Him and his partners went to 35 different lenders before somebody would secure their loan for them with the SBA guaranteed product. Again, contract and procurement assistance. We do have access to the Dodge reports. So anybody that's in the construction trades or affiliated trades, maybe even the professional trades, anything from, all of the 17 trades that you would think that are hammer and wrench, to the architect engineer folks, to the people that do the landscaping and, final cleaning when it comes to construction projects. That's a huge thing about being, certified with, the local government or the state or even the federal government with those professional designations, certifications that we can help you out with, like the MBE and EDGE assistance that we're talking about here today. So you can always register with us. That's the first step I would tell you, is to register with us with cul.org/MBAC. Then it starts the process for you to come into our fold, and then we will disseminate your information out to our team, whether you need the technical assistance, the funding opportunities, or the certification opportunities. So, Driving for Growth is a curriculum that we have talked about. Everybody's trying to grow in scope and scale right now. Even people that are in the ideation stage, they may not know where to go or know what to do or what resources to have. Again, I'll say it now and I'll say it again. My center and myself, we are a resource to resources. We will exhaust our opportunities and energy to make sure that you are successful, that you can get pointed in the right direction to be able to do what you want to do to help stimulate your economy, your personal economy, and economy in Marion County. So we provide different series of education. Our Founders Basic series, we go through our growth wheel training. You'll hear about that in a second. A builder and contractor series. Previous life, I managed a capital for construction program at a local CDFI here. And, we go through anything from bidding and estimating to understanding contracts to procurement opportunities. Again, the certification document tour, I talked about that a little bit earlier. Market access series, capital access series, executive education series, where we talk, it's kind of like a think tank, folks, where we can come together in small cohorts and make decisions and be able to take action. Talked about the growth wheel. It's a tool that we use. The tool is only as good, the tool is only as good as the carpenter, right? So growth wheel is a 360 perspective on your business. And it takes you from any of those three different levels, startup, stay up, or scale up, to help you make decisions and be able to take action. Gives you items, rifle approach, for you to be able to get things done. So you can look at these areas, the 4 key areas. You see the yellow, the green, the red, and the blue. And, really, it breaks it down into these key areas for you, okay? This is what we do with our one-on-one consultation. When people come in to see us, somebody may say, hey, I have a great idea, but, I don't know if I need to start out with employees, or, you may be in the scale-up phase and say, is it time for me to take on employees? And if I take on subcontractors, do I pay them now, or do I go full-fledged with fringe benefits and things along those lines? Everybody has legal issues. America is the most litigious, place in the entire universe, probably, more so than just, the world, right? But, and even the big idea, the networking, I also consider myself a master networker. If you tell me what's going on, I understand it, then I start to think about it. I've had times, where I wake up in the middle of the night because somebody's had conversations with me as to what they're doing. And I'm like, where can I put the square peg in the square hole, the round peg in the round hole, right? Marketing, these are all big things, especially with technology right now. People might, instead of spending money on a billboard, you might just want to invest in search engine optimization, SEOs, and your social medias, because that's really where you can touch more people and have more pound for your price. Branding, which is critical mass, and I'm just touching on some of these, but you guys can see the slide and understand where we're going with this, as far as, your financials, if you're trying to go get a loan or even prepare for grant dollars, you have to have your balance sheet, your profit and loss statement, your receivables, your payables, your cash flow schedule, all these things in place. And we can walk you down that line, okay? The funding opportunity, again, that's my big hat. That's my 10-gallon cap right there with my experience, is being able to find some resources for you to put some money in your pocket, whether you have to pay it back or it's grant dollars, right? Grant dollars are always sexier and more attractive than paying it back. But, as you grow your businesses, there's a thing of OPM, other people's money, that you can use and utilize to help you grow your business and be successful. IT systems, what kind of phone technology are you going to use? What kind of Zoom, are you going to use Zoom or Teams or Google Meets or any of those things? Facilities, are you going to stay at home and work? Are you going to, are you manufacturing? Are you service? Are you retail? We can help find your niche for you. And, one of my favorite tools in here, it's something that I learned when I became certified myself with my couple of decades of experience, is that there are so many ways to generate revenue. I always thought it was a core couple of ways that you can generate revenue, or the keys to build wealth. And that's either being, a business owner, self-employed, an investor, or an employee, right? And I'll touch on that real quick before I go to the next slide. So a lot of people get caught up, in if you own a business, you own a business. If you're self-employed, you still own a business. The difference between those two are that you're self-employed. If you're not there working in the business, you're not making money. A business owner makes money when they're not in the business. An investor makes money when they're not working. Self-employed makes money when they're working, but they only get to make that money and build wealth when they're at the top of the food chain in their organization. So we think about these things and we look at it from, again, that 360 approach to understand where you are in your trajectory for where you want to be. Again, you can check out our trainings. Everybody check out the YouTube channel. We have all of our previous curriculum and guest speakers, anything from people talking about QuickBooks. Again, we have a QuickBooks class coming up again soon. We went over blueprints not too long ago. We've gone through just a myriad of different ideas that fall into that growth wheel that you just saw. And oftentimes we bring in, the subject matter experts to present on those things so it can be the benefit of our constituents. We are also down at Ohio University Innovation Center. I'm actually going down there tomorrow. It's a beautiful, beautiful building, and they've got a lot of technology people in there. They have like robotics teams and, all kind of cool stuff down there. So we have a main office here in Columbus at the Urban League. Then we have a satellite office down in Athens. And if I had it my way, we'd have another couple of satellite offices in our key areas. Talked about the certifications, okay? So these are the key certifications that you can get through us from the state. So what is certification? Being certified, with the state, you have to be in business for a year to get the MBE Edge certifications, the BBE and WBE. They're making some allotments for that right now. So that you may not be in business for that year to get there. Contact the local city. I'm not sure if the city of Marion has its own certification. So that'd be a good takeaway for me to go and do some research on. But the biggest question is, and I think the question oftentimes is more important than the answer. Why should I become certified? So I'm not going to read to you, but again, MBEs are defined as people that have at least 51% or more controlled by that designated group. Okay, any black, brown, yellow, designation, also gender. Okay, the state's MBE program is again designed to assist minority-owned businesses to get government contracts and set-asides for any type of contract or vendor services. Ed certification, encouraging diversity and growth. I wish they would call that something different, like encouraging. Forget it. I wish they would call it something different, but it's a good name, right? But the biggest thing on this one, in order to qualify for this certification, is that your personal net worth has to be less than $750,000. So $750 or less, is the biggest component of you being able to become certified with that designation. So it comes back to a lot of set-asides. Our edge, especially with the state, because you could be a woman, a veteran, or minority, and still be affluent. So this designation right here is set aside for any shade, any hue that comes through the doors. That you don't have to be a minority, from a cultural standpoint or ethnicity standpoint in order to obtain this one. But again, this is kind of like the top layer of what the certifications look like. And a lot of the carve-outs that you'll see for diversity, equity, and inclusion are edge carve-outs, not only women or minority. So again, the women business enterprise, guess what? You have to be a female in order to get this. Again, that 51% control is what we look at. And, I'll tell you this as a caveat, it does not apply to procurement goals or set-asides that are targeted for state government contracts, but the state just rolled out a new loan program for WBEs that is top-notch. It's innovative, and it just rolled out last week. We have information again on that on our website, or you can go to the Ohio Department of Development to look. We didn't talk about the veteran or minority. We talked about the minority, but not the veteran ones. But guess what? You would have had to be one of our patriots to serve our country in order to obtain that certification. Again, check out our MBAC University. And I guess I'll open it up for questions right now. See if I see anything in the chat.
Thank you. It looks like, Johnny, I think there was some that came in the chat.
Sure. I would love for people to be able to unmute and ask their question. And then when you ask your question, could you still state your name, if you have a business, and what your question is? That would be enough. Jess, would you like to unmute and ask some of the questions you have in the chat box?
I can, but I'd like to wait a little bit if possible. I'm here to be an ally and learn how Marion voices can better support Black-owned businesses. I am a white person myself, so I'm not a Black entrepreneur. So my questions are just general ones, but I'd like to leave this space for Black business owners as much as possible.
It's not Black only, Jess. It's Black, brown, women, veteran. Again, I'll answer questions for any entrepreneur. It doesn't mean just because I'm the Minority Business Assistance Center doesn't mean that I can provide assistance for you. Again, at the end of the day, I'm a resource to resources. Our center is a resource to resources. So there's no such thing as a dumb question, just a dumb answer, right?
I would love to hear more about other review of the series that you mentioned, some of those, and kind of drill a little bit deeper into what the different series are that you offer, like the I don't know. It was one of the slides where the executive education series and others.
So, again, in our MBAC channel, anything from, understanding a business plan, right? Business plan development, cash flow projections, understanding credit. We just went through a credit series, personal credit and business credit. Obviously, it's really hard to get business credit if your personal credit is poor, right? Or scarred, I would say. There are a lot of different ways for folks to improve their situation. Cash flow management, marketing. Marketing. I'm getting a little bit of feedback right there. I talked about the search engine optimization. Again, there's a host of different, one-sheeters that we can provide for you, or we'll give you a template. Have you do a little bit of homework, and then you come back and we talk about it and debrief it, like in our big chats, which again is a cohort of people that are in that same phase of growth, for them to be able to understand and have a university of sorts, for people to be able to, think amongst other like-minded people to, sharpen their iron, right?
So those are recorded presentations along with material, and then there's some roundtable discussions. Is that kind of what I'm hearing from the series?
Right. Even sometimes we'll have some fireside chats with successful business owners. Right now, a big one, especially with the pandemic, is managing your emotional, capacity, your cultural competence. It's some things that I want to look at developing as far as our curriculum, so that people understand, it's been a tough time for everybody. It's been a real tough time for every single person, not only in your community locally, but in our great state, our nation, and across the globe, because, nobody's ever seen anything like this. And, just trying to figure out how to manage emotionally, the work-life balance, are some things that we're looking at as well, coming down the pike, so that people can understand that, you're not alone, right? And it's not just about money all the time. It's not just about growing your business, but it's about being, a whole person. You're a whole person before your business. You got to worry and think about your teams. So these are all things that we're putting into our curriculum. And, when you are part of that registration force, we'll make sure that you are aware of the activities and classes and curriculums that are not only going on in my center, but across the state as well.
Thank you, Jesse. This is kind of a leading question that leads into what you just said. How has the pandemic specifically affected minority-owned businesses compared to others? Would you say it's drastically higher?
Yes. There have been a lot of studies that have been out there, and, I can speak. If it's okay, I'll stop sharing my screen so I can see everybody again. And the chat in full length. So, how's it impacted, minorities? The access to capital, I would tell you, would be a huge hurdle right now. I know you guys heard the stories about how the first round of PPP money went to, a lot of rich people, right? People that didn't need it, but they could meet the criteria in order to get it. And they were the first ones to get the big chunks and tranches of money. That's why the government came back and started delving it out for people that were self-employed, not just business owners, right? Because that was one of the things that people, you couldn't get it if you were, if you were a 1099, right? So, those things, just the timing of it itself, it kind of put things, I had to say, it put us on the back burner, not that we're not used to being there, but we shouldn't be, if all lives matter, Black lives matter. Black lives matter, all lives matter, right? Obviously with the things that have just been going on in general across the temperature, the climate of the country, Black businesses have been hurt more, have had less access to tools and resources than the majority. And, our mission is to make that a level playing ground. Again, because if we can make sure that people have the tools and access, then I think everybody wins. I would challenge the chamber to talk to local government. I know here in Franklin County right now, we have grant dollars that are going out just to Black and brown communities. So speak to your government. I was on Equity Now Community Commission by our president, Miss Stephanie Hightower from the Urban League, and we had local representation. And it is important to talk to your elected officials because in the off years, people often miss or think that it's not important to be engaged with local government in the off years. And when I say off years, not the big ticket election. You're not voting for the governor right now. Not voting for the president right now. You are voting for local government. So, I would challenge the chamber to make sure that you're putting people in place and have programs that can help fund Black and brown businesses during these times, because, the dollars are not enough. We had a grant that we had here in Franklin County last year before I came to the Urban League, but I knew because I was part of the ecosystem. And, we only had, a certain amount of money. You say $1 million is a lot. It's not a lot when you have, $10, $15, $20, $25,000 grants that you're giving out people, and you can't give it out to everybody. The last time that we helped folks out, we helped out hundreds of businesses, hundreds of entrepreneurs, but we still had hundreds that didn't get through. We opened it up in Franklin County again last week, and there was only a small window that we're running from. It was like last week up until November 2nd. Over the first 4 days it was open, there have been over 1,600 intake inquiries to help people out. So, how's it impacted Black and brown businesses? It's still not enough. You have to get engaged with business owners. The coalition that you have right now today, somebody says it's a big deal. It's historic. It is, and all voices should speak for one cause, and that's just make sure that your community is better. You can't look at one and help out one without helping the other. So hopefully to answer the question, that strikes a nerve for me, really, Matt. Thanks for the leading question, because I think everybody that's involved on this call right now should be able to pull together and have a consortium of one thought in order to make sure that you can go and talk to your elected officials. And I hate politics personally, but it's a necessary ends to the means, right? And you make sure that your voice is heard, because there are dollars built in the budget you may not even know about until you're talking to the people that cut checks, because you're paying the money to them. You're putting the money in there with your tax dollars. There should be a pool of money set aside to help out minority businesses.
Well said, Jesse. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
there are, like, Pastor Jackie, she's on the Zoom call. She is a minister of a church nonprofit. And Laura and Dana, will you introduce yourself and talk about your nonprofit? So, and then I'm going to ask a question.
You want me to go first? I'm sorry. I'm not in the room, so I couldn't quite hear you, Tara.
I'm going to ask a question about business and nonprofit. And I had mentioned the fact that you're on the call and there are 2 people in the room. So could you just introduce yourself and talk about?
Yes, my name is Jackie Peterson. I'm the pastor of Logos Ministries here in Marion. Probably 98% African Americans. And I did have a question. I'm coming from a different perspective. We're a church. So I was wondering, how can the organization help us? I heard you mention about marketing and branding, and COVID has even affected the churches, excuse me, and to try to get the people to come back. I mean, how could we market? How could you help us in that? And also grants. How could your organization help us as a church to participate in getting some grants?
Well, offhand right now, Pastor Jack, it's an excellent question. I know that the nonprofits have been overlooked in a lot of ways, through this pandemic. I talked to a banker today, it's not a grant, but I talked to a banker today that has access to capital. It's a boutique bank. It's a small, regional bank that may be able to provide some assistance for you. Like I said earlier, there was one company that reached out to, over 30 lenders, that said no. But, and that's a big part about being an entrepreneur. Just because you're nonprofit or not-for-profit doesn't mean that you're nonprofit, you know, because you still need to pay bills, right? Let me think on that one. You know, I'm not good at telling people things that I don't know that are certain. But, you know, again, you know, Jackie, you may be one of those folks that I'm thinking about for the next couple of days. And again, I would encourage you to reach out to my center, to have that session so that we can really get down to what the core need is. Everybody needs more money. Grants are always, you know, it's the sexy thing, you know, and, I know, you know, centrally for the government here, you know, there are some things that you can do and be done. I know that the SBA just opened up some of the EIDL restrictions that they had put out there, because there's still money sitting out there for folks. I'm not a direct lender anymore, so I don't know about the SOP, the standard operating procedure of what it is. I've just kind of been glancing over it and get people back to lenders. But there are monies that are out there for, you know, just about anybody, but it just really depends on, you know, where we need to go and get it.
Jesse, does your team work with nonprofits to help them market themselves, or is it strictly for-profit businesses?
Both. Any business, yeah. Sole proprietor, corporation, profit, nonprofit. Yeah, we'll help you out.
Excellent.
Next question. Great questions, everyone. If you don't ask any more questions, I've got more jokes.
Someone hurry.
Go ahead, Ms. Dana.
Yes, my name is Dana, and I am currently president of our Peace and Freedom Committee here in Marion. And we have recently acquired a building. We have been in existence for 15 years. And so we're blessed to use the chamber space that we're in now. But we have a building, and in the process, you know, we get funding. Our majority of our funding comes from a Marion Community Foundation. And, you know, we are always worried that, you know, one day that money may not, or the money may not be a resource for us to use. And so we have gotten very creative in trying to raise money. And we do it locally. And like in the back of my head, I'm always feeling like we don't necessarily always have to get our money from the community for the ideas that we have to grow in the building that we have. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Excellent point. You know, I just talked to one of my peers and colleagues in another center earlier this month. It's a grant that is with the national parks. And I'm sure that there are some historic buildings in Marion, right? And it's something to remodel, revitalize, reuse historic buildings. And there are grant dollars that are out there right now. It's like nationalparks.gov. There's another website, it's grants.gov, that are out there. Are you talking about the historic tax credit? I think that's it. Again, you know, I won't make certain of things that I don't know. But, you know, if you, because I'm in the ecosystem again, you know, if you ask a question, if I don't know the answer, I'll do my darndest to go get it for you. Okay. Because, you know, that's knowledge that should be shared across, you know, all industries, right? But it's nationalparks.gov. And I know, I was talking to one of my colleagues that was in the Dayton market, and they got a grant for like $450,000. to help assist with, you know, the restoration and build out and the reuse of a historic building. That's just one idea, because, you know, I'm spitfiring right now with some of these answers, but, you know, it's just the things that I hear, and, you know, I'm able, when you ask those questions, I'm able to, you know, be able to point you in the right direction.
I'm assuming, Jesse, that the networking that you provide as well, I'm sure you are aware of other minority owned buildings or building owners that we could kind of tap into, and then get those folks connected and talking about some of the ways that they were able to help themselves, or and so I think it's part of an don't answer for you, but it sounds like the networking that can come from going outside of ourselves to the Columbus area and through you folks, there'd be some benefit in that, just in terms of being able to connect with others that are in a similar boat.
Certainly, Mr. Matt. Certainly. And my turf is Marion County as well. So again, I'm very happy to be a part of this conversation today and let you know what I can do, what my center can do, because I'm responsible for your area to make sure that you guys are successful. So and I'm not saying that lightly. I have a vested interest in making sure that I can provide quality counsel to all of the businesses in your area.
Other questions in the room?
Yeah, because JJ, we meet the second Thursday of every month. And what I'm hearing Jesse say is maybe some of the concerns and questions that are coming up can also help Matt to identify resources that we can put on our agenda. So Johnny drives our agenda. And then as far as the meetings and things are concerned. So do you mind giving people your email address so that we can identify things, because we want this to be a working Black Business Council, and we want to utilize the resources of the chamber. And I understand too, we have 2 people in here, Jesse, that are running for city council. So I heard you when you said, make that awareness with the local governments to make sure that these needs are being met and heard. So I did hear you when you said that.
Critical mass. Yeah, absolutely. It's critical mass. Yeah.
That was great points, Tara. And yes, with Jesse's information, we'll make sure to share all that contact information with everyone here today. If you haven't signed in on the way out, if you're part already of the network, the database that we have, we'll be sharing the recording of this with those folks as well. And of course, his contact information will come with that. Johnny, any other questions? And then like Tara said, we wanted to bring speakers and topics of interest to this group every month. So if you're dealing with a specific thing and you'd like to have a presentation on it, please let us know. Otherwise, I think our next meeting will be more of a roundtable discussion with with whomever is able to come about some of the challenges or exciting opportunities that they've come across to share that information with others. But a great, I think, fantastic start. And Jesse, again, great way to kick us off here with this presentation today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. If there are no other questions, I will excuse myself.
What do you think, Martrice? What do you guys think? Babian has like a business that's got like 10, he's got like a mini mall in his business. I call him the mogul. Babian, what do you think?
No, I'm just listening and taking everything in and look into the website and join the network. So.
Were you able to hear Mr. Mark?
No.
I have to speak up a little bit.
Yeah, I said I was just listening, and like I said, I'll join the network and look at the resources and just like I said, I like everything that's going on. So like I said, hopefully something live me.
And I'll tell you, I have a team of professionals that are here to assist me. The last line I put in the chat is our website, cul.org/MBAC. I'm open to travel. If you guys set up a day for me to have counseling sessions, I would block out a day and, make myself available, make my team available. I would love to come see that beautiful center that I see in the 360 view chat. For us to be able to, come up there and kind of do like maybe a speed dating type of setup for some quick one-on-one counseling, and that will just, lead to follow-up. Of course, with pandemic, everything's virtually, everybody on my team is vaccinated. So, we're not afraid to travel right now. We still use precaution. We still care, about our loved ones at home and everybody else with what's going on right now. Hopefully we're almost through it all, but we're not there yet. So we are still taking precaution. Just to ensure everybody's safety, but I'm open to it. If I have to travel, I'll come by myself and I'll Zoom in the rest of the team. So, I miss seeing people face to face, so I'm sure everybody else does too.
Jesse, the space is yours for sure. I would love to have you come up. I guess one of the biggest questions we didn't ask is, your service, how much does it cost if someone's interested in being part of that networking and the registration?
Free. It's free. It's free.
Well, that's great.
So, Mr. Mark, I got one question before we let you go. Could you tell us a little bit about your dreams for Black businesses over the next, say, 5 years? What are some really amazing plans that you have out there that you want to connect and collaborate on?
I'm sorry, I'm sitting in a virtual office right now, like the gas line was going off. Could you repeat that question?
Sure. I was saying that, what are some of your dreams for Black businesses over the next 5 to 10 years? What are some things you want to connect and collaborate on?
I would love to see more Black-owned businesses in agribusiness, as well as technology. There are tons of opportunities. I'll throw it out here. Had a conversation with one of my mentors, and they sit on the board for the Columbus Zoo, and you think about procurement opportunities for any type of business that you're in. As an agribusiness, think about the animals at the zoo have to eat. So what do they eat? They eat rats and mice and things like that. Who would be a rat farmer or a mice farmer? I don't know. There are different things and concepts that are out there. Supplier diversity chain for contractors for construction. Again, technology is huge right now. How can we become more efficient? In what we do daily? Virtual reality. Zoom is almost there right now, but where's the technology at for that? And something that's akin to me, is healthcare. I can't wait for somebody to find a cure for cancer. I think that's huge. A lot of people may have been impacted by that. I know I have been personally. I lost my mother when she was 59 years old to cancer, and let's let the smart people think, and they should be able to get paid to be able to think sometimes. To come up with these solutions to eradicate the ills that are in the world, and call me a dreamer. Right. It's not all about the money, but for me, at the end of the day, it's about what we can do to help each other out and how we can, lift our brothers and sisters up, hand in hand, arm in arm, and make the world a better place, and somebody should get paid to be a professional smiler, right? Because anybody that smiles a lot, just spreads the joy out across the world, and, sharing your joy helps out the next person next to you, because you never know what somebody else has been going through. So I think I'll end there.
So those of us online, if you can unmute, those of us in the room, can we give Mr. Mark a hand? We so much appreciate you being with us here tonight. So thank you so much for everything that you do. And as my elders always say, we'll send a prayer of protection over all your work.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Good luck to everybody. Make sure that you register for our newsletters, and I will take the one-on-one emails in kind, and look forward to this not being our last, but the first of many opportunities to work with each other. So many blessings, everybody. Have a good night.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Jesse. Johnny, any final thoughts? I just would like to say, again, we're very excited to have Jesse. Did a great job, and very happy that this came to fruition. And we hope that you'll be attending many more of these. Those that are here, those that are watching the recording. we'll continue to do these. And Jesse, we appreciate the dad jokes. As a new dad, I totally appreciate that. And thank you for spending time with us.
Hit me up at any time, man. I've got troves of them.
Oh, good. I might need them.
Congratulations. Everybody have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.